All right. Hello, everybody, and welcome to our 11th installment of Wednesday Weekly Skillshare, a program all about learning a new life skill or general life hack during your time here at Pacific. Today's session is all about life planning with a veteran, Stan. My name is Amber Matier. I use she, her pronouns, and I'm the graduate assistant of competitive sports and outdoor programming at Pacific Recreation, and will be today's moderator and every Wednesday's moderator. This session will be recorded for later posting to our YouTube channel at Pacific Rec. If you have any questions today, either on Zoom or on Facebook, you can drop them in the comment box, and I will ask them at the end of our presenter's time. The session is also live on Facebook, so I'll hop over there eventually and check it in real quick with all of our viewers. For any Pacific affiliated folks, I will also be dropping a link for participation counts. So if you are watching on Facebook, you will be able to click that and sign yourself in. As a future plug, next week's session will be at 1:30 and will be about how to juggle with our campus's chaplain, Laura Steed. And at this time, Stan, the floor is yours.
Thank you. To give you a little background of who I am, I'll be 69 here in a few days, and I've already finished 2 careers. And so the math is, I've been around long enough to figure out some of this stuff. I don't know that I know all the answers, but there's some things I've learned along the way that maybe it might be useful to you in your life. It used to be we had to devise a plan for 5 years out, and that pretty well took care of us. Well, things go so fast now that you have to plan not only 5 years, but 10 and 15 years, maybe even 20 years ahead. I know in my particular instance, I realized about halfway through my second career that I was going to have to figure out what I was going to do after I finished my second retirement, because the economy changes so quickly and you still need money to live. So if you take the time and figure out what it is that you love to do, then your third career may not be the one you actually have to work because you enjoy it so much. So that's what basically I did. And I had an opportunity to go back to school, and I'm currently a senior, and I'm majoring in English and Media X. I'm also working for the school in that I run the Military and Veteran Student Center for the school. That takes care of a good chunk of my life. I guess that's what, over 50 years. And that's how long I've been actually waiting to get to UOP. I'd always dreamed of being able to attend, but I never thought it was going to be possible. So one of the things I've learned is always to look for the upside. Life gets pretty, if I use an expletive, kind of forgive me. I was a sailor for 32 years, but life happens. It really does. And 2020, it seems like they got everything compressed into one can and gave all of it to us in one dose. We have the election, we got COVID, we don't have the ability to be with each other. I'm still trying to figure out what my bubble is and how to include my children and my grandchildren. But we all learn how to adapt. Human beings are the most incredible creatures on this planet. You'd be surprised at how much you can tolerate. I've seen men and women in situations that a lot of people would have deemed impossible, but they had the strength and perseverance to continue on. And I'm here to tell you that no matter how bad you think your life is, it's not that bad. And more recently, just to qualify that statement, I've been going back and forth to the refugee camps in Iraq for the past going on 7 years. And what they're experiencing in the refugee camps is far worse than anything that you're facing right now. So I'm going to be crass and say, just get over it. I mean that in a good way, though. A lot of times we're faced with situations where we don't know what to do, and we're we think we're going to find a particular answer to a problem in one place, and only to discover it's somewhere else. I'm a photographer, and a lot of times I go out and I think, oh, this is what I want an image of. You kind of see this one that's behind me. It's a firefall at Yosemite. Um, I've gone there many years looking for the firefall and it not be there, only to realize that if I turn around and look, I'll find what it is that I didn't know that I could see or understand. And that's the same way with problems in life, in situations. See, did that. Oh, keep the good things that you have in your life. It doesn't make any sense to hang on to the things that are toxic and damaging to who you are and what you are. So always keep the good things that you have in life. You're fortunate, this generation is, in that a lot of things that my generation used to have to covertly deal with is no longer an issue. They've made human relations acceptable. And it doesn't matter what, who you have your relationship with, which I think is an incredible thing. I was trying to figure out years ago how they're going to handle a exploding population. And if everybody on the planet was to procreate, then it'd run out a lot faster than this. So I think it's important for you to realize, what it is that you love and who you love, and not be afraid to express that in life. Let's see. I think it's important to be prepared for the future, but in doing that, you need to not be, anticipating and waiting for that future to happen. So I would encourage you to live in the moment. Take the time to appreciate those things that you have around you and the people that you have around you. See, the other lesson I've learned in life, which you're not going to see from in this particular session for me, is to listen. That's one of the most important skills that you could have if you would listen. There's a lot to be obtained out there. And a lot of people are so wrapped up in themselves that a lot of times they miss out on what it is that they should be listening to. Yeah, there's a lot of white noise out there milling around out in the world. There's a lot of white noise on the internet too. But be attentive. Hear what it is that people are saying and how they say it. And I think that will greatly improve the quality of your life. Because you know as well as that if someone listens to you and values what you say, it makes a tremendous difference. Let's see. Oh, I've never turned down an opportunity. I try not to say no very often. While I was in the military, I got to work for NASA for about a year and a half or two. In the process, I was able to pick up some skills with the F-18 and worked with the shuttle escort pilots out of Lancaster. And had a great time and learned a lot from those individuals. Um, I was a personal secretary to admirals and a couple of generals. On one particular admiral that I worked for, we went on a cruise in the Mediterranean, and he had declined an invitation that was given to him by the captain of one of Jacqueline Onassis yachts. Jacqueline Onassis was the wife of President John F. Kennedy. Anyway, she married Onassis, and when we were in port, the yacht was there as well, and he invited the admiral to, come and have dinner and whatever. Well, at the last minute, he decided that he he wasn't going to go. He didn't want, didn't. I guess something else came up, and what I ended up doing, he asked me if I would please personally go and give his regrets. Well, as soon as I got there, and keep in mind, I'm wearing, some jeans and a t-shirt, and I'm not, I'm just thinking I'm going to just drop this off. Well, it turns out that these kind of social events that these people have on their ships are very well planned and meticulously planned. And when I told the captain that the admiral was not able to accept his invitation and join him, he looks at me, he says, "Well, I guess you're it." And I got to stay on board the ship with them, and they took care of everything. They made sure that they clothed me. I got a haircut. I think I got a manicure and stuff that I never would have ever expected in my life. But be prepared for those events in your life. You can learn a great deal from just being around other people. You need to try and live your life, find grace, find a way of living your life gracefully and with caring. And if you do that, it's the law of physics. All the good things that you give out in life, eventually it does come back to you. Here lately, I'm wondering what kind of bad things I've done. But I know that's not the fact. But figure out some way of living your life with the grace that you can live with, that the past generations would have applauded you for, and it's a legacy that you're leaving the generations that will follow. It doesn't matter how minute our lives are, we do make a difference. Even if it's in just one person's life, and we do create and cause change. So that's what I've tried to do, is live my life with a certain amount of grace, sometimes not so gracefully. And I definitely work at maintaining a certain level of dignity, which is not easy for a sailor. Let's see, what's next? I don't know if I've said this. I'm at that age now where everything kind of gets jumbled, and I'm sure you'll help me out, right? As you go through life, you're going to have the ability to gain other skills that you otherwise wouldn't have expected to have. I never knew that I was going to learn how to fly F-18s. I never realized or knew that I could become a international photographer or a humanitarian photographer. I'd never given any thought to making and participating in making a documentary about refugees. But there's all kinds of skills that that you can pick up along the way if you pay attention to who your mentors are. They're more than happy to help you with that. If you go out and look for a job and you know what kind of job it is and company that you want to work for, I recommend that you seek out, a few of those people that work at that company. You will find, find where they socialize or have lunch or something. But one thing is human nature, and as I'm demonstrating here, people love to talk about themselves endlessly, almost to the point of, nauseum. But that's a good way to find out if the company you want to work for is actually a good company and a good fit for you. But like I said, the more skills that you bring with you into a job, the more valued you will become. And you're certainly off to a good start if you're a student at UOP. And I know from personal experience, because I sent my son-in-law through UOP, and I've sent a niece and a nephew are also graduates from there, and they've all become extremely successful. My son-in-law, I call him my son because I promised him I'd never refer to him as my in-law, even though he married my daughter. When he went to apply for a position at a company in Folsom, the problem they were running into is that the state universities, they were teaching IT from a certain perspective. There's maybe just programming or just the hardware or just the security. UOP taught him all of it. He got a glimpse of every single aspect of it. So he ended up being the head of a team where he translated and interpreted between these groups, saying, this is what this means. And so he's making a nice 6 figures now, which I'm very, very, very happy for. I don't know. Do we have anyone online that has any questions? I figured I burned out everybody's eardrums for the past 20 minutes. So Amber, do you have any questions?
We do have a question.
Okay.
We do have a question from Facebook. So we have a, hey Stan, I know unfortunately that veterans are one of the top populations who experience PTSD. Without getting too personal, how would you reassure someone experiencing any kind of mental strain during these times? And what positive coping skills have you accumulated through the years?
Anyone that has PTSD, everyone that I've ever dealt with, because I've been working with veterans for a good maybe 10, 15 years now. I actually created the Veteran Center. I didn't create it. I ran and put together the Veteran Center at Delta College. But every single instance that I worked with a veteran, it's all different for every single one of them. And there's different factors that are driven with their PTSD. It could be traumatic brain injuries, or it could be actually a more visible, they may be missing a limb, an eye, but you have to work with every single one of them individually. And so it's not like when you're in the military where you're like what the Army say, army of one. So my advice for dealing with PTSD is reach out to another veteran. And I learned from working with the veteran centers better how to navigate the VA system and find resources for veterans. I have some excellent doctors, so I'm a little bit nuts on occasion. I got I got put into the Army in 1970 during Vietnam. I don't remember any of it. So, but I know I have issues. It's just I I have some great doctors, and they're a lot better now than they were earlier on. It used to be they over medicated us to the point that we were zombies, and now they to the point where we didn't want to take our medication. Because if you don't even realize what's going on in your life, you just stop doing it, and that's a lot of cause for resentment. That was earlier on, and I think there's still issues with the VA. But one of the major things I would do is I would definitely encourage them to go to the Veterans Administration and see a doctor. There's a toll-free line that veterans can call, and they'll talk to them right there on the phone and find out what their status is. It's unfortunate that we have as many veterans commit suicide as we do. We have these incredible young men and women that have served their country, regardless of whether what the country was doing was right or wrong. And we tell these guys that we value them and we appreciate them, and that when they get out, they, everybody would go out of their way to help them and make sure they were, going to live a good life. That's not true, not by a long run. I hate to say it. People out here could give a hoots less about it. A lot of times when they find out there's some difficulties that a veteran's dealing with, they will actually go in the opposite direction. And it's more that they're having so much difficulty in coping with their own lives that they don't have any room for a veteran who's experiencing problems. But that's basically how I would handle it. Is I would talk to them, refer them to the toll-free number, and encourage them to go see the VA. And the reason I would talk to them initially, I want to figure out if they're going to kill themselves right there and then. So I hope that answers your question.
Yeah, absolutely. That was a very comprehensive answer. I think a follow-up on my own personal question is, what do you consider a successful life to be? What are the things that you value now?
Comfort, having enough food to eat, being able to be sheltered and a warm place to live. A lot of things that I thought were important early in life, they're not. You don't necessarily have to keep up with anybody now. You decide what it is that you want out of life, and that's what you work towards. I think the generation that we have coming up now, they're redefining a lot of things. They're redefining what success is. It's not the big house. It's not the big car. It's more of how they interact with society and what it is that they are doing that makes a difference in humanity. And I think that's, we used to call them hippies. But this generation is far more sophisticated and far more thoughtful. And that's what gives me hope for the future. I figured, I don't know, I'm hoping for another 16, 17 years. And by that time, I'll be getting close to 90. And if I make it that far and I'm able to function and do well, then I feel good about my future if it's in the hands of you guys.
Another great answer. Wow. Okay. I think this will be the last question before we end today's session, but what keeps you going every day? What gets you out of bed?
There's a number of things. And I think it's simply because I function and deal with my life by uh, what do they call it? Distraction. I'm in the process of working on 3 films right now. I met with a director from Los Angeles yesterday. We're already talking about going back and working on another film in Iraq. I have 2 shows that were canceled, one in Sweden and one in Israel. I'm hoping that they'll be able to get those back for us, and we'll be able to, I'll be able to show my photography there. But I constantly stay busy, and the one thing that UOP does, it's just incredible when I first saw it, when I first got to school, was live your life with purpose. If you have a purpose in life, you are going to live a full, complete, and happy life. And oh, never go to bed mad. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if it's with someone that you love or if it's at the world. But if you want to get a good night's sleep, never go to bed mad, and you won't wake up upset. And always look for, like I said, always look for the upside. So there's one out there. So anyway, I want to say thank you for all of you that have joined me. I hope I didn't babble on too long. I know when I was growing up, if someone my age was to speak to me when I was at your age, I'd like, oh yeah, right. There's nothing you could possibly tell me that's going to be of any value. So I appreciate the fact that you are listening, and I hope that what I have said will help make a difference in your life, and hopefully will re-energize you after, what is this, 8 months now that we've been isolated. By the way, we'll get back to normal. We have a generation that's the now, I want it now kind of thing. Well, we're teaching you patience, and we're giving you an opportunity to enjoy things that you otherwise won't have time to do later. Life's going to go fast enough as it is, so enjoy this short period of time. I project that this will go on until the summer. So just set your mind that it's going to be this way. They're going to try and fix it where you are going to be able to go to classes and feel safe, and and you'll need to be responsible citizens to help take care of the country and do your part by washing your hands and wearing a mask. So whatever it is that they dole out, roll with the punches and make the best of it.
Thank you, Stan. Yeah, thank you so much for your time and sharing your life journey, and of course your service. Really appreciate it. Yeah, and that will officially conclude today's session right on time. Again, Stan, just really want to thank you for taking the time out of your day to spend with Pacific Recreation. Appreciate it.
You've been awesome. I really, I never thought I'd be doing anything like this.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you very much.
Absolutely. Bye, Stan.